are mainly female dominated. So their lowest ranking female outranks their highest ranking male. Now just remember to remain seated at all times for me, friends. Thank you so much. Now also over here on the left side of the truck, we're going to have some sable antelope. Sable antelope are the emblem or the mascot of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now if you notice with those horns of theirs and how they're really big and curved backwards, that's to help defend off predators when they're sneaking up behind them.
We're coming around at two more.
Now since we're going to get a little bit closer to them, I'll start talking about the Maasai giraffes that live out here on the reserve. How we can tell that they're Maasai giraffes is that those spots of theirs have really jagged edges, and that's one way we can tell that they're Maasai giraffes. Giraffes can also grow up to 18 to 20 feet tall, so it makes sense that a group of them is called a tower. Now when giraffes sleep, they sleep standing up, so they can be on their toes and ready to go if a predator approaches. Now that's going to be the same exact thing if a mom is giving birth. Mom doesn't lay down to give birth, mama stays standing up, and baby will drop about 6 feet to the ground. When baby hits the ground, that is what jump starts baby's heart. And giraffes, when they're born, can stand within about 15 to 20 minutes of being born. Sounds like we might be stopped for some giraffes on up in the road, and that is perfectly fine. Here on the reserve, the animals always have the right of way for us humans. We're just here, we're exploring, we're learning, we're sightseeing, everything like that and more. So we're always giving those animals the right of way. We never want to make them do anything they don't want to do. Now, if you didn't know, I'll kind of spit out some random facts about some giraffes. But if you didn't know, for us humans, we have 7 vertebrae, and so do giraffes. They have 7 vertebrae, so we have something in common with them. Giraffes are also one of the only land mammals that do not have vocal cords. And if you've ever been curious, those horns on top of the giraffes' heads, they actually have names for them, and those are called ossicones. Both males and females have horns, but if you remember that the okapis are second cousins to giraffes, for okapis, females don't have ossicones, but males do. So that's for the okapis, how to tell the difference between a male and a female. Oh, me?
Yeah. Don't worry.
You're good.
All good things.
I try. Now, as you can see, giraffes are also very messy eaters. So since I've kind of talked about all the animals in this area, if it's okay with everybody, I'm going to kind of talk about the landscaping here. If you noticed in the area that we were in, there were some like mesh chains on the trees, And that is to help protect the animal stomachs, because some of them like to eat the bark off the trees and it's not very good for them. So you would think that some of them have learned, and they have not. So they came up with putting some wire mesh around the trees to help out with those animals, and they haven't gotten stomach aches since. Now this little one that we were really close to right here on this left-hand side, the little one that we were close to, that's Humphrey, and he's the baby of the group. Humphrey was actually born just a little bit back there. One day he was born out here in the open in the savannah. Now we should be moving here a little bit faster. Now on the right side of the truck, we're going to start to see a new animal, and we're going to be surrounded by a confusion, and a confusion is what a group of wildebeest are called. When wildebeest migrate, they can migrate up to 500 to 1,000 miles a year. And when they stampede, they can actually kick up so much dust that you can see it from outer space. Then there's going to be an eland laying down on the left side of the truck behind this other truck. Eland are the largest antelopes that live out here on the reserve. Kind of come around here. The best view that I got is stopping here and turning. And then there's also going to be one on the left side scratching its head against a palm tree. If you noticed on the eland's neck, there was a really big flap of skin, and that big flap of skin is called a dewlap. And that dewlap acts for these animals like an AC system for them. So, a lot of natural AC systems for these animals. So walking around over on the left-hand side, really, really close to the rocks back there. If anybody saw them walking around, there were some mandrills. Mandrills are the largest monkeys. And if anybody knows of Rafiki from The Lion King, Rafiki is based off of a mandrill. So now in this area back here, there's one animal that lives back here that weighs around 3,000 pounds. Now they hang out back over here due to the really thick foliage. They like to eat the foliage, but they also like to hide in it and use it for shade. And another reason why they hang out back here is because of the abundance or a lot of red clay. This animal loves red clay because it's very high in vitamins for them. So just as much as we like taking vitamins and staying healthy, these animals like to eat their vitamins and stay healthy. We're starting to see some red clay over on the right. It's also going to be on the left side of the truck as well. Now it does look like some elephants have been here recently due to the tusk marks on the right. So we're going to do our best to try to find some more. Now it is dinner time, so these elephants are off looking for some dinner. So we're going to do our best to try to spot them. But it looks like they could be hiding extremely well. see some baobab trees again. We're gonna have 2 on the right, 1 on the left. Now our next animal is going to be on the left side of the truck here, and these are greater flamingos. If you look amongst the bunch, you might notice how there are some brownish gray ones, and those brownish gray ones aren't like mom and dad just yet. And how mom and dad get that pink coloring is by eating beta carotene, which is in shrimp. So they haven't eaten enough shrimp yet. And a group of flamingos, just like this one, is called a flamboyance. Alrighty, so on up ahead, you probably have already seen them walking across the street up here, but we're going to see some white rhinos coming up. Now what the rhinos will do, if you see this big mud pit in the middle on the left, they roll around in the mud and they use it as a sunscreen, but they also use it as a bug repellent. So once they get one single bug in that mud on their skin, they'll go to the trees in this area, scratch off that mud, and then re-roll around again so they can stay nice and coated. Now a group of rhinos is called a crash because they don't have the best eyesight. Their eyes are on the sides of their head. Well, they do have a very good sense of smell and a very good sense of hearing. Now we are going to get pretty close to them, and they are on the skittish side like some other animals that live here. So we're going to try to remain as quiet as possible as we're coming close to them here.
What?
And walking around also on the left-hand side, we do have some cheetahs. Cheetahs can run up to 60 miles per hour, and they use that long tail of theirs to change directions. But also the cheetahs, they do not retract their claws back into their paws. They keep them out, and it helps them to grip the ground and to run faster. Now with cheetahs, if you ever notice how they have like a black streak coming from the inner part of their eye, down and around their mouth to their chin, that black streak is acting as natural sunglasses for them. So they want to keep the sun out of their eyes when they're running really, really, really fast. And this rock formation on the left is called a kopie, and a kopie is home to one animal that likes to look over their pride to make sure everything is correct, everything is in order, and everything is going accordingly to the way they like it and the way that they want it. We're going to see if they're over here, because they do sleep about 18 to 20 hours a day, and they absolutely love their shade. We're going to see the female and the male in right here. Now, lioness do most of the hunting for the pride, while the males will stay back with the kids. And they are nocturnal animals, so they will do most of their hunting at night. And then on the right, walking around over here, you'll see a little small bontebok. That bonteboks are one of the only antelope species that can't jump. And they're also close relatives to wildebeest because of that skull structure. There's two lines. There's the females. Now the females' names are Kinsey and Kamari, and then that's Dakari, the male, laying down with them as well. They're brother and sisters. And if you didn't know, if anybody hasn't watched the live action Lion King, Dakari's body is used for Mufasa.